The World Cup is officially underway. After 4 years of waiting, after years of qualification battles, after endless predictions, debates, and expectations, the first match has finally been played. And if day one taught us anything, it's that this tournament has absolutely no intention of being normal. Most opening matches are cautious. Players don't want to make mistakes. Managers don't want to take risks. Teams are usually happy to settle into the tournament. But Mexico and South Africa had other plans. What should have been a routine opening match quickly turned into one of the most chaotic World Cup openers we've ever seen. And by the final whistle, history had already been made. The madness started early. Just 9 minutes into the tournament, Mexico struck first. Julián Quiñones scored the opening goal of the entire World Cup. 9 minutes. That's all it took. One moment, one finish, one explosion of noise from tens of thousands of fans. Just like that, the first goal of the World Cup belonged to Mexico. And for a brief moment, it looked like the hosts might cruise to an easy victory. But then something happened. The match began changing. You could feel the tension rising. The tackles became harder. The challenges became more desperate. Players started realizing this wasn't a friendly. This wasn't qualification. This was the World Cup. And every mistake suddenly carried enormous consequences. The turning point arrived in the second half. South Africa's Sepeyo Sithole found himself chasing Brian Gutierrez as the Mexican attacker broke through on goal. For a split second, a decision had to be made. Let him go or stop him. He chose to stop him. The referee immediately reached for the red card. South Africa were down to 10 men. Just like that. Years of preparation, years of dreaming, and suddenly, the mountain became even steeper. But strangely enough, that wasn't the moment people will remember most from this match, because what happened next may become one of the emotional images of the entire tournament. Raúl Jiménez scored. Mexico doubled their lead. 2-0. Game over. At least on the scoreboard. But football isn't always about scoreboards. Sometimes it's about stories. And nobody on the field carried a bigger story than Raúl Jiménez. Many football fans remember the horrific head injury that nearly ended his career years ago. Some wondered whether he would ever return to his previous level. Others doubted whether he'd ever experience another truly great moment. Yet here he was, standing on football's biggest stage, scoring in a World Cup. As the crowd celebrated around him, emotion poured out. You could see it on his face. This wasn't just another goal. This was a reward for every setback he had endured, every painful recovery session, every difficult moment, every doubt. In that instant, football reminded us why the World Cup is different, because behind every player is a story most people never fully see. And while Mexico celebrated, South Africa's nightmare wasn't finished, not even close. As frustration grew, discipline began disappearing. Another challenge, another moment of recklessness, another red card. Now South Africa were down to 9 men. 9 in the opening match of the World Cup, before some teams have even kicked a ball. The tournament was only hours old, and already records were falling. Then came another shock. Mexico's Cesar Montes was also sent off. 3 red cards. 3. In a World Cup opener, something that had never happened before. Think about that. The first match of the biggest football tournament on Earth had already entered the history books. Not because of a spectacular scoreline, not because of a miracle comeback, but because chaos had completely taken over. And that's when I started wondering something. If this is how the tournament begins, how does it end? Because opening matches often reveal more than people realize. They don't tell us who will win the World Cup, but they tell us what kind of World Cup we're about to experience. And this one feels dangerous, unpredictable, volatile. The kind of tournament where favorites suddenly find themselves in trouble. The kind of tournament where underdogs start believing. The kind of tournament where one mistake can destroy years of preparation. History has shown us this before. In 2022, Saudi Arabia shocked Argentina. Morocco shocked the world. Traditional powers stumbled. Predictions collapsed. The script was ripped apart. And day one of this World Cup already feels like it could be heading in a similar direction, because chaos changes everything. It changes confidence, it changes strategy, it changes psychology. Suddenly, managers become more cautious, players become more nervous, fans become more emotional. The entire tournament shifts. And that brings us to a player who hasn't even played yet, Cristiano Ronaldo. Because whether you support Portugal or not, one fact remains impossible to ignore. This may be Ronaldo's final World Cup. One final opportunity, one final chapter, one final chance to win the one trophy that has always escaped him. Now imagine entering a tournament that has already shown signs of chaos, a tournament where discipline matters more than ever, a tournament where experience could become the difference between success and failure. That changes the equation, because chaotic tournaments don't always reward the strongest team. Sometimes they reward the calmest team, the most disciplined team, the team that stays composed while everyone else loses control. And if day one proved anything, it's that keeping control may be harder than ever. 3 red cards in one match. Think about that. 3 players watching their dreams disappear before the tournament has even properly begun. That's how thin the margins are. One decision, one moment, one mistake, and everything changes. That's why the biggest lesson from Mexico versus South Africa isn't the scoreline, it's the warning. Every team watching received the same message: stay disciplined, stay focused, stay composed. Because this World Cup is already punishing mistakes, and we've only played one game. One match down, 63 more to go. One dream has grown stronger, another dream has already become more difficult. And somewhere among the remaining teams, future heroes are preparing to write their stories. Some will become legends, some will become heartbreaks, some will become unforgettable. The only thing we know for certain is this: the World Cup has officially started. And after a day one filled with goals, emotion, red cards, history, and chaos, it has already become impossible to look away. So now I want to hear from you. What was the biggest moment of the opening match? Was it Quiñones scoring the first goal of the World Cup? Was it Raúl Jiménez's emotional finish? Or was it the unbelievable 3 red cards that turned the game into complete madness? And here's the big question. After watching day one, has your prediction for the World Cup winner changed? Finally, do you believe Cristiano Ronaldo can still lift the World Cup trophy before his career ends? Let me know in the comments, because if the first match was this crazy, the rest of this tournament could become one of the most unforgettable World Cups in football history.